One of the very first digital narratives was a computer game called Colossal Cave. A new version of the game is reimagined for the 21st century, and you can even play it in VR. What's the new experience like? Does the narrative translate from text adventure to virtual reality? Let's take a look in this review of Colossal Cave. Hello, and welcome to No Categories, your source for news and reviews about digital writing. This time, I thought I'd try my hand at a video game review. It's a tall order, considering that Colossal Cave is already hot off the press, and most of the reviews are already in.
What's here is satisfying, challenging, and feels like a somewhat proper modern interpretation of a very classic game.
This does feel like those adventure games of yore, with the humour and style intact, and fans of the original or similar titles will welcome this revival into the modern era. And this niche audience will get a lot from it, but others will be left bemused and a bit disappointed.
As the game progresses, you again wonder why a text-based adventure game released in 1976 has been ported to a virtual reality platform in 2023 with the point-and-click mechanics of games made in the 1980s.
They're mixed reviews, focused largely on the graphics and the user interface. But let's back up a moment. The original Colossal Cave Adventure, also known simply as Adventure, is a text-based adventure game released in the mid-1970s. The program acts as a narrator, with detailed descriptions of the setting, events, and the results of the player's actions. Players interact with the game by typing natural language inputs like climb ladder or kill dragon. It is the first well-known example of interactive fiction. It is also the first well-known adventure game. It is also an early example of natural language conversational interface. So, for its time, Colossal Cave was incredibly groundbreaking. To me, what's most interesting here is that this is an example of a new way to write. Colossal Cave is a game that's full of things that happen only sometimes. So the text of it isn't always read by every single reader. It isn't always read in the same order. For example, sometimes when you quit the game, the narrator takes a parting shot at you with a literary quote. "With these rooms, I might now have been familiarly acquainted." The quote is unattributed, but it's from Jane Austen's Pride and Prejudice, from a moment of realization, I could have been at home here. I didn't choose to, but I could have. She had her reasons and her doubts. Colossal Cave, the original, is an interactive text. Even today, electronic books don't take advantage of many interactive possibilities. By comparison, they're just paper books presented on a screen. Colossal Cave is an example of something more. Because it was so imaginative, the original Colossal Cave adventure game was ported to almost every imaginable platform at the time, and since then it's been ported to just about every kind of computerized device ever. By one count, there were 181 different variations of the game. It was available from Apple and from Microsoft, which is rarely true for games even today. In a similar spirit, the new version of the game is or will be available on PlayStation 5, Nintendo Switch, PC, Mac, Linux, Xbox, Stream Deck, and even the Quest 2, where you can play the game in virtual reality. I hear that PC VR support is coming soon. For this review, I played the game on the Quest 2. Much to my delight, the narration has survived the translation into this new graphical format. The script is a very faithful reproduction of the detailed and personable text of the original. The voice acting is stellar. Most modern games don't have a narrator, or if they do, it's only for the introduction or the cutscenes. Here, there's narration throughout, and it's unobtrusive. You can call up the descriptions by examining the objects and locations. In my opinion, this is game narration done right. This remake isn't a completely identical copy of the original, of course. because where's the fun in that? It's like a film adaptation of a book in some respects. They're calling it a reimagining, aptly. Some things are lost in translation, though, like the conversational interface. The original introduces itself as someone you can talk to, who will understand what you say, if you say the right things, and who will respond. With a graphical interface, that feeling of conversation is lost. There are moments in the new game where you can say certain things, but these are limited, and your sayings are weirdly located in your inventory to be used like objects. When it comes to conversational interfaces, some recent exciting examples include Alexa or ChatGPT, but that tech isn't used here, or in many games at all, at least not yet. Another thing that's lost in translation, for the better, is a kind of blindness. I think it's no coincidence that a dark cave was chosen as a setting for the original. A text adventure can't show you any graphics, of course, so it makes sense when you're playing in a place where you can't see well or at all. That can be very frustrating, though. Should I go north or south? It's very easy to get lost. By adding graphics, the game is easier to navigate by far. How are the graphics? They have a retro style. They're fine, and many even prefer the retro look. For me, it isn't stylized enough, though. I think of the remake of Shadowgate, for example, but not the one for VR. This one. Although something like that could be hard to pull off, particularly on the Quest hardware. For the Quest 2, I think the best example of graphics is Tales from the Galaxy's Edge, and I always want new Quest games to be at least this good. As it is, the new Colossal Cave game looks about as good as the recent ports of the 1993 game Myst, although perhaps not as detailed. Overall, Colossal Cave is a solid game. It should provide hours of fun. You'll enjoy this game if you like to play puzzle games, or the more relaxed, so-called walking simulator games. If you made it this far through the video, thank you. Please hit the like button if you like this, and subscribe for more of it. Until next time, thanks for watching.